Homecoming for Richmond Senior High School is slated for tomorrow. The Bowtie for Boys Club at Fairview Heights Elementary plants crepe myrtle tree with help from Richmond football players, and Pints and Politics got underway earlier this week. That and more all coming your way on your Thursday edition of Live at 5. Richmond County's nightly news starts right now. Tomorrow, the annual homecoming parade for Richmond Senior High School is set to begin at 4 p.m. in downtown Rockingham. The green and gold will be out in full along with supporters. The parade will be the lead up to the Richmond Raider varsity football game tomorrow night, as Coach Teal's team is set to face off against the Hoke County Bucks. Richmond is currently on a 4-game winning streak, knocking off Pine Forest, Butler, Pinecrest, and Jack Britt High Schools over the last 4 games. In that span, the Raider defense has shut out 2 opponents and has only given up a combined 27 points in the other 2 games. On the offensive side of the ball, Richmond has been lights out, netting 120 points in that same stretch. Teal has expressed before how the middle of any football season, winning or not, can become a monotonous revolving door throughout the week of practice for players. And despite the hype surrounding homecoming week flowing throughout campus, the Raiders are showing the coaching staff that being complacent isn't an option. After 2 weeks of SAC play, the Raiders are one of 3 teams with a perfect record. The other 2 are rival Scotland High School and 71st High School. Hoke County, on the other hand, joins Lumberton and Purnell Sweat High Schools at the bottom of the standings, as all 3 are tied for last place at 0-2. More so, the Bucks haven't won a game in nearly 2 years. Entering this week's matchup, Hoke County is currently on a 19-game losing streak, but Teal isn't taking the losing streak lightly, saying that the Bucks have the potential to put together a good game, especially on offense. Kickoff against the Bucks is slated for Friday at 7:30 p.m. at Raiders Stadium. 9 candidates for 4 offices had a chance to mingle with voters and discuss their platforms Tuesday evening at Pints and Politics. The biannual event is hosted by the Richmond County Young Professionals as a way for constituents to meet and question politicians in a more relaxed setting. Libertarian Jeff Scott was the only candidate in the 9th Congressional District race to attend the event, although Democrat Dan McCready sent a representative. Republican Mark Harris was not represented. State Senator Tom McInnes and his Democratic challenger Helen Probst Mills took questions on their individual stances on issues like gun control and education. Democratic State Representative Ken Goodman, who is facing competition from the Republican and Green parties, joined the pair to answer questions about constitutional amendments on the ballot. The audience also heard from 5 of the 6 candidates for county commissioner, incumbents Herb Long and Don Bryant, and challengers Rick Watkins, Tavares Bosnick, and Jim Entwistle. Commissioner Ben Moss was not present. The deadline to register to vote was extended to October 15th, and early voting begins October 17th at the Cooperative Extension Office. Hours will be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, November 3rd. When we return, I'll be bringing you your Live at 5 weather report. What's up next after Hurricane Michael? It's coming up right after the break, so stay tuned.
Hi, this is Christina with Richmond County Hospice. I'm with Julie and Holly, and we're here to talk about how wonderful Hayden Construction was during our recent pipe bursting and flooding in our building.
In 10 to 15 minutes they were here, and they were already starting to work vacuuming up the water, trying to figure out where all the damage was, what all they needed to do.
They were so quick to get on the scene. They were here before I even arrived, and it was just reassuring to have them come in and take control.
We are so thankful that they were here to help us that day.
At Kyocera, we see your company differently. We see your documents, how they're accessed, what it takes to keep them secure, and how well your workflow is flowing.
Kyocera helps your entire document infrastructure run more efficiently, securely, and cost-effectively.
And what we see is an opportunity to integrate all of it.
Today's Live at 5 weather report is brought to you by McNair Auto Sales. And as Hurricane Michael becomes Tropical Storm Michael and has moved through the Carolinas, we obviously got quite a bit of rain today, a few inches at the least. The thing we saw the most of, though, was wind, and none more present than right outside of our office here at the Richmond Observer in downtown Rockingham. As you can see, the wind was howling today. However, for tomorrow, it's going to be a beautiful day. And as you can see on the map behind me, let's start on the eastern part of the state in Wilmington. For tomorrow, a high of 75. Same thing for New Bern for tomorrow, and a 73 high for Greenville. Over in Raleigh, a high of 69, so a little bit cooler as we get further into fall for the northern part of the state. Right here in the Sand Hills area, a high of 72 for both Southern Pines and for Rockingham. 1 degree warmer, just down 74 in Laurinburg, high of 73 for them tomorrow. Heading towards Charlotte in the Queen City, a high of 71 for them tomorrow, 69 for Greensboro, high of 70 for Hickory. And then for your South Carolina temperatures, high of 72 for both Spartanburg and Lancaster, 74 in Darlington, 75 for the capital city of Columbia. As I mentioned, nothing but sunshine expected for tomorrow. Should be a beautiful weekend, which brings us to our 5-day weather forecast. As we mentioned, tomorrow is homecoming for Richmond. Of course, it's going to be a beautiful day. We hope a high of 72, a low of 50, 0% chance of rain. That's going to continue as we get further through the weekend. On Saturday, 71 is going to be the high, a low of 51 that night. Once again, no rain expected. Same thing as we finish out the weekend on Sunday, 0% chance of rain with a high of 72, low of 58. As we begin the start of next week on Monday, once again, 0% chance of rain. Should be a few clouds in the sky. Nonetheless, another beautiful day, high of 80, low of 62. And then on the final day of this 5-day weather outlook, on Tuesday, small 30% chance of rain. Not much expected there. Could go either way at this point. Expect another nice day, a high of 78, a low of 60. So nothing but beautiful weather in the immediate forecast. Should be a wonderful weekend. Still maybe some barbecue weather out there if you want to take care of that this weekend. This should be perfect weather for it. And that's going to do it for your Live at 5 weather report. When we return, Raider JV football rolls to their 25th straight win, and Richmond boys and girls cross country are ousted by host Pinecrest. It's coming up right after the break, so stay tuned.
McNair Auto Sales is the place to buy your pre-owned car, truck, or van. To be the best, it takes big selection, friendly staff, and great pricing. We guarantee a no-hassle buying experience, and financing is available right on site. So come see us today. We're located at 1026 East Broad Avenue in Rockingham. And remember, with over 40 years of experience, you know McNair is the name you can trust.
At Richmond County Hospice, we strive to provide high-quality care to our patients and their families. Whether it's the incredible hospitality at the Haven House or from the comfort of your own home, you can count on hospice to be there for you. We also offer monthly grief support groups, and our chaplain will be there to hold your hand in prayer. Through our amazing staff and our volunteers, hospice has made difficult times easier for our community. Call the number on your screen if you feel that you or your loved one may benefit from our services. Richmond County Hospice. Peace, comfort, dignity.
Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts is all about rustic home decor and gifts. You will always find a variety of unique antiques, vintage, and new items in our shop. Come and see our selection of housewarming, new baby, and wedding gifts. For the man in your life, we have many collectibles, Boker knives, and leather. And ladies love the jewelry, purses, candles, hats, and t-shirts. We also offer a 30-day layaway program. Come and experience shopping at Willow Tree Antiques and Gifts.
It's not about how you start, but about how you finish. A variation of that quote has been used by the athletes and coaches of many different sports all over the world. While the quote may have a strong sense of truth to it, it's not been the motto for the Richmond Senior High School junior varsity football team lately. For the second week in a row, the Raiders scored on their first play from scrimmage and never looked back en route to a 34-12 drubbing of the Bucks of Hoke County High School. With Hurricane Michael making its trek up the East Coast, the JV game at Hoke County was moved up to Wednesday evening. The only things that seemed to move faster than Michael's wins were the legs of Richmond's Tramel Jones. Jones took a handoff from Kellen Hood on the game's opening play and sprinted 67 yards for 6 early points. The reliable Mac West was good on his point after kick, and the Raiders led 7-0 just seconds into the game. After it rained all day on the field at Hoke County's Raz Autry Stadium, it's no surprise that most of the noteworthy numbers were in the rushing stats. Jaron Coleman finished the night with 124 yards on 11 carries and 2 touchdowns. Keelan Hood carried the ball 5 times for 26 yards and a score. With the win, the JV Raiders improved to 6-0 on the season and 3-0 in Sandhills Athletic Conference play. Richmond will host Lumberton at Raider Stadium next Thursday. On Tuesday, Richmond Senior High School's boys and girls cross-country teams reunited with the teams from Purnell Sweat and Hoke County High Schools in Southern Pines. Joining the Raiders, Rams, and Bucks on the 5,000-meter course were the Patriots of host Pinecrest High School. Unfortunately for all of the visiting runners, Pinecrest simply dominated the day on its home turf. In the boys' meet, the first 10 participants to cross the finish line represented the home team, with sophomore Andrew Thompson leading the way with an impressive time of 17 minutes 35 seconds. The Lady Patriots were just as successful when Patriots senior Brooklyn Dory zipped past the stopwatch to finish in first place with a time of 20 minutes 45 seconds. She led a parade of Patriots to the finish line. 12 of the first 13 runners to complete the race were from the host school. The one out-of-place runner was Richmond's Ariel Brown, who finished in fourth place with a time of 22 minutes 51 seconds. The Speedy Junior has led the way for the Lady Raiders in every meet this season. Fellow juniors Graceland Weatherford and Allison Leggett finished ahead of many of the Hoke runners and all of the Purnell Sweat runners. Their times combined with Brown's strong finish kept the Lady Raiders in contention for second place on the day. And that's going to do it for today's edition of Live at 5. If you haven't already, be sure to download the Richmond Observer app for your iPhone and Android devices. For all the latest news in Richmond County, visit richmondobserver.com. Be sure to tune in to Good Morning Sandhills Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8:30 a.m. And of course, make sure to stay tuned after this at 5:30 for the RO Sports Show. Thanks for watching Live at 5, and good night, Richmond County.